y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presente esa mejor cerveza. No abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito not with us today. Will the Thrill Clark not with us today. But as we do each and every single morning, when we come on here, we properly salute our boys. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks, when we are juiceful, we are useful, and when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning to you on the 13th day of May 2020. For our daily hustle quote of the day is going to come from Teddy Roosevelt. And here is a sign back here. I posted it on IG a little bit earlier this morning. We cannot always build the future for our youth. But guess what, folks? We can build our youth for the future. Oh, no, never mind. I fucked it up. It's from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I thought it was Teddy. I apologize for that. Anyhow, we are brought to you by our title sponsor, Bet Online, the number one online gambling destination. Get all the latest news, scores, odds, and predictions at Bet Online, from MLB to NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, and just about anything you can dream of that you want to bet on. Go to Bet Online today, where the action starts. Also, these things are underselling. Actually, really disappointed. It should be on the bestseller list. How it is not already, I have no idea. Let Them Play, a parenting and coaching guide to youth sports. You don't believe me? Listen to John Gall, the president of USA Baseball. This should be required reading for every travel ball coach in America. There you go. Enough said. 22 guidelines on how to play, coach, and parent at the youth sports level. It is gold. Okay, big weekend, by the way. Was in Half Moon Bay, still am in Half Moon Bay. Had an opportunity to go to the Giants game. And what they've done over there at Oracle Park is wild. From the last time I was there, and I felt like this was last season I went, and I saw the construction happening, but it's all open now. There's 2 new buildings. There's a whole new parking structure. There is a park where the old parking lot used to be. The stadium is as beautiful as ever. I'd be hard pressed to say it's not the best stadium in baseball. It doesn't have the mystique of Fenway Park. It doesn't have the long history of Wrigley Field, but there is not a more beautiful park in the world, in my opinion. We got the seats up in the right field section with hopes of catching a home run ball. And I figured that if I went somewhere that was in between the foul pole and the flagpole, then I would get the last row of seats. This is what ended up buying, $72 a piece. So not terrible, not great. I mean, you are far away from the action. But I was in the last row, so I could stand behind my seat without anybody saying a word. Obviously, I have trouble sitting still. And then at that point, I could run up and down if I see a ball hit. So I really thought that I was going to catch an Ellie De La Cruz home run ball. He was up to bat. I'm not kidding you. Barrel out. The ball was fucking coming right to me. This was happening until he fouled it off. The next pitch, another great hack. That was going to come right at me again. Foul ball. And then the next one after that, gone. Reed swings. That's it. I knew it was happening. I knew it was coming. But then after that, what sucked, is that the Giants turned him around, which then has me bring up the question. Is Elly De La Cruz better off staying on the left side, which is clearly his dominant side? And I probably need to get a switch hitter on here to really talk about the benefits of it, because I know I had some long conversations with Bobby Kilty back in the day, and he said he wished he never did it. I get it. He was much stronger, I believe, from the right side. Now, if you're left side dominant, I think you just stay there. The benefit would be is that 70% of the pitchers in Major League Baseball are right-handed. So if lefty is your side, yeah, run with it. But I would also tell you that if you have the ability to do it from both sides of the plate and be consistent from both sides of the plate, and you're just as strong from both sides of the plate, which is almost never the case. Almost never. But again, the question becomes how close you have to be. This is what I've told my kid. He's 12 years old, rakes from the right side, beautiful swing, nice swing left-handed. But until the power is there, until he's within 5 miles per hour exit velocity on the left side that he is on the right, not doing it again. You want to do all you want in batting practice? You want to go take 1,000 swings left-handed off the tee? You want to go bang the iron mic for 1,000 swings? Go have at it. I'm not preventing that at all. But until you get in the game and you're within 5 miles per hour exit velo off of a tee, is this going to get your max exit velo? No. But I like to measure this because I think you can control the environment, right? Off a tee, in a cage, exit velo, whatever that number is, get within 5 miles per hour of the right side, and we can go ahead and implement it. But I just watch Elly, and sure, he has some right-handed swings that, they're good swings, but he's such a fucking force from the left side. And you're telling me that he can't hit left-handed pitching? Bullshit. The issue that he's had, and this is funny, is actually not at all the ball away. At least it doesn't seem like it to me. The issue is when they come under their hands and he takes balls like this and he opens up the lane for the umpire and he gets rung up on those a lot. But with the lefties, all they're trying to do essentially is work them away, breaking ball away, breaking ball away. But can you imagine you hang a breaking ball to Elly De La Cruz from the left side, even if it is left on left, and it is freaking good night time. Okay, let's take a look around Major League Baseball, kind of get caught up for the weekend, and then I'm going to get into the top stories that I have already laid out that we can go ahead and rip through. These scores from yesterday. It was Arizona 9-2 over Baltimore. Big win for the Diamondbacks, trying to creep back to 500. They're 19-22 right now. Baltimore falls to 26-13, which obviously they are playing very good baseball right now. Washington, 3-2 losers at Boston. Chicago Cubs go into Pittsburgh. They beat the Pirates 5-4. We'll get into Paul Skeens' debut. That happened on Saturday. Minnesota Twins 5-1 over Toronto. It was Houston 9-3 over Detroit. Miami 7-6 over Philly. So Philly's 28-13. Jeez. Is that the best record in baseball? I think it is. There's Baltimore sitting there at 26-13. How about Philly? The New York Yankees, 10-6 winners over Tampa. They're 27-15. Aaron Judge starting to heat up. Cleveland Guardians, 7-0 over the White Sox. The White Sox are 12-29, which is just about the worst in all of baseball. Colorado is 12-28 after a win at Texas, in Colorado yesterday against Texas. St. Louis, 4-3 over Milwaukee in Milwaukee. That's a big win for them. They're looking to get back on track. They're 16-14. Milwaukee 24-16. The Giants walk it off They are now 19-23. It was a good series win for the Gigantes, but it came at a very steep cost. They lost Lee yesterday to a dislocated shoulder. They lost Conforto on Saturday to a hamstring. And on Friday night, they lost, I believe it was Austin Slater, to concussion protocol. So a costly weekend for the Giants. They are going to be challenged here going forward offensively as that lineup really thins out with those injuries. Kansas City 4-2 over the Angels are 25-17. This team's for real. And then the Padres shut out the Dodgers. Yu Darvish 3-1 with a 2.43 ERA. They take the series down in San Diego. Seattle 8-4 over Oakland after Oakland had a big victory the day before. It was Wood with the loss and Castillo with the win there. And then Sunday Night Baseball, it was the New York Metropolitans, who are now 19-20. So they're a game from getting back to 500, taking down the Atlanta Braves at 24-13. All right. Jung-Hoo Lee suffered a dislocated shoulder after crashing into the fence. The Giants also put Michael Conforto on the disabled list, and it was Austin Slater placed on the 7-day concussion list Saturday after crashing into the wall on Friday night. What a fucking debacle for the Giants when it comes to the injuries. As they like to say in the South, hey, it's all part of it. So, that brings up the question, with the Giants being as thin as they are they going to continue to try to get hopeful production from dudes coming up from the minor leagues? By the way, Heliot Ramos looks like a fucking stud. The plays he was making in the outfield threw two dudes out from right field at second base on Saturday when I was at the game. And then with a Pelican in left field, he comes in and makes a sick sliding backhanded catch. Really impressed with everything that I've seen from him so far. But the question becomes, should the Giants go out and sign, wait for it, Brandon Belt? Why not? An article in McCovey Chronicles today said, hey, look, he's available and the Giants need help. With Jung-Hoo Lee's 2024 season likely over in the health and performance of players such as Jorge Soler, Michael Conforto, Austin Slater, Mike Yastrzemski, Tom Murphy, and even Wilmer Flores in doubt, the San Francisco Giants find themselves lacking quality hitting depth. The answer is easy: to let things play out and make some waiver claims in the meantime. But the smart answer is recalling to life Brandon Belt. Yes, folks. Captain Belt to the bridge, please. Look, this is what people don't realize about Brandon Belt, is that he was with the Toronto Blue Jays last season and had a 138 weighted runs created plus. That means 38% above league average. He is a fucking force. No question with the bat. I get it. The Giants have tried to move on from the past World Series teams and everything else. But when you need immediate help and you're fighting to stay in this each and every single day, remember, there's 12 teams that make the playoffs. So if you can hover around 500, you can remain in it somewhat. But if you start falling well below that, you're going to be in some serious trouble. The numbers for Belt last year: 264, 374 on base percentage, and a 583 slugging. He led the Toronto Blue Jays, who have some absolute mashers on that team, in OPS. Sure. Is it kind of like going back to the well, getting back together with your ex? Maybe a little bit. But guess what? She's got the ability to bring value to your life, and Brandon Belt's got the ability to bring value to your team. Don't be so arrogant or hard-headed to not do the right thing. When your ex is going to bring value back to your life, or Brandon Belt's going to bring value back to your team, go for it. Who gives a shit? Gotta do what you gotta do. You really do. It's a no-brainer. And how and why he's not signed is fucking bullshit. It's terrible. It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't put up that offensive of a year and not get a job. It's one thing if, hey, he might not make $10 million. I get it. He might not make even, I think it was like 7 last year or whatever it was. But this is a reputable hitter, and you know what you're going to get. Now, he has this bittersweet relationship with Giants fans, the super hardcore, oh, I wish you'd swing more. I know Thrills not always happy with Bell. He wasn't always, quote unquote, thrilled with what you're going to get out of Brandon Belt. But what I love about him is that he's consistent. He stays true to who he is as a hitter. He's not going to swing outside the strike zone. Doesn't do it. That's why he has this ridiculous on-base percentage. And he's going to give you consistent at-bats. Now, does he produce runs at a crazy rate? The WRC Plus says he does. So I don't care what the RBI numbers say. I think a lot of that is team dependent. A lot of that has to do with the amount of at-bats you're getting, obviously, with runners in scoring position. But this is somebody who could help the San Francisco Giants right now. And in my opinion, why the fuck not? Okay. Paul Skeens debuted for the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Cubs on Saturday. And I watched this live. It was electric. There's no other way to put it. The scene at PNC Park was probably one of the best scenes that I've ever seen there for Skeens. Man, why do I feel like I'm doing some sort of nursery rhyme? Regardless, Michael Tauchman was the first batter that Skeens faced as a big leaguer, and also just so happened to be the first Skeens strikeout when he threw a 100.9 mile per hour fastball by Tauchman for strike 3. Skeens also then struck out Seiya Suzuki, the second batter he faced. He can't start his career much better than that, but he went on to strike out 7 in his debut. Joey Votto had a little comment he put up on Twitter. He said, watching Skeens reminds me of facing Strasburg after his call-up. I took a fastball my first at-bat, looked up and saw 100 on the board. I thought, uh-oh, the next pitch, the best curveball I'd ever seen. Gulp. Lefty master Connor Joe slugged a 3-run homer off of the Cubs ace Justin Steele, which gave Skeens a chance to pick up the win in his debut. O'Neal Cruz followed with a homer to make it back-to-back jacks. It was only the 5th left-on-left homer of Cruz's career. That's the formula for the Pirates right now. Skeens striking guys out and Cruz hitting dingers. Skeens 22 later this month, so he's 21 still. Pitched to a .99 ERA, 45 strikeouts, 27 innings of AAA before being called up. And here he was. Skeens was the number 1 pick in the draft in July. I mean, we went over all this. Okay. What's to learn from it, though? MLB has a new velocity king. As expected, Skeens brought his heat in his major league debut. His four-seam fastball averaged 99.9 mile per hour in AAA. His first pitch as a big leaguer was 101. He threw 17 pitches at 100 miles per hour or better on Saturday, including 6 at 101 or better. And his fastball averaged 100.1 miles per hour. The 100.1 average fastball is the highest by a pitcher in a game this year by a half a mile an hour. It's the 6th highest average fastball velocity in a single game since StatCast launched in 2015. It looks like Hunter Green and Jacob deGrom own the other ones. Skeens generated 4 misses on 15 swings against his fastball, a 27% whiff rate, which is well north of the 21.9% league average. It's a tiny sample size, of course. Still, the movement profile on Skeens' fastball is not great, so it bears watching how many bats it misses at the big league level moving forward. That's a very good point. It's one thing when you're throwing 100. It's another when you're throwing 100 with a lot of movement. So what they're saying is that Skeens' fastball doesn't move a ton. I mean, there are 15 swings against it, 4 swings and misses. That was it. The new sinker is legit. This is the second observation. The Pirates selected Skeens with number 1 pick for his devastating fastball slider combination and above average control, and he certainly leaned on those pitches on Saturday. He threw 33 four-seamers and 23 sliders among his 84 pitches, so that's almost exactly 2/3 of his total pitches. That's a pretty typical use rate for Skeens. Skeens also added a new sinker this season that StatCast classifies as a splitter because it moves so much at a high velocity. It is a sinker, though. I don't know if it's a sinker. He calls it a splinker. It's a sinker, but call it whatever you want, Skeens told our Matt Snyder. And he used it playing on Saturday. 21 of his 84 pitches were sinkers and missed Cubs bats with 7 of their 12 swings. I think you got to go to that more. I mean, if that's the case, then it's just a sinker. Again, I thought they were calling it the splinker. Sort of a split sinker thing. That's a 58% whiff rate, which is just fucking ridiculous. All told, Skeens generated 14 misses on 40 swings at the MLB debut for a healthy 35% whiff rate. He also got a swing and miss or a called strike on 33% of his pitches, which is a strong rate. Whatever you want to call it, a sinker or a splitter, it is clearly the weapon for Skeens and something he's going to rely on heavily. All right, number 3 here, it says the Pirates let Skeens extend his pitch count. He did go above where I thought he was going to go. Skeens threw 84 pitches in his 4 innings Saturday, and this is a new season high for him. He topped out at 6 innings and 75 pitches. He's been extremely held back at AAA. Skeens started the 5th inning at 74 pitches. The question then becomes, should have you run him out there for that 5th inning? I know this sounds fucked up because under the adage of like, let them throw. I don't know. He just hasn't gone above 75. So it would have been nice to extend that out to like 85 while he was still in the minor leagues, and then he goes into that 5th inning ready to go. But when you treat him with this, oh no, I can't throw this many pitches or whatever, it's not good. I mean, that's the whole reason why you build up that pitch count. I understand why you didn't call him up earlier because of that pitch count, because you hadn't stretched him out. But fuck, man, that's exactly why you do stretch him out. All right, in 4 here, alas, Skeens handled the adversity really well. The Cubs had their best chance to break through against Skeens in the 2nd inning when they loaded the bases 1 out on a hit by pitch, Nico Hoerner. A walk, Nico Hoerner also homered off him too, by the way. A walk, Michael Busch, and a single, Miles Mastrobuoni. Skeens escaped by striking out Yan Gomes and getting Tauchman to ground out to second base. It was the bullpen that made a mess of things in the 5th inning. Okay, so the Skeens debut was fun, but what was really fun was when they interviewed Livy Dunn during the game. Dunn obviously is the LSU gymnast, Skeens' girlfriend, $13 million social media followers across all the platforms. Apparently she makes like $3.7 million a year in NIL money, and she's cute as a button, and she's up there in the suite giving this interview, and she reveals that when Skeens was getting the call to the big leagues, her and Paul happened to be napping, which then was followed with this huge blush on her face. Man, that is something that I think the social media world ate up. I know No Filter Network jumped on it immediately. Good for Paul Skeens. This guy went to Air Force, was a two-way player, went off on that fact and talked about it on the last Daily Hustle. I think it was on Friday. But here's the thing. We live in a different world now, don't we? I mean, you knew. As soon as this happened. And then 5 minutes later, it's on fucking John Boy. It's on every social baseballer picked it up. I mean, just everywhere. It was everywhere. And, well, you reveal the info like that, and you guys can go ahead and make your own judgments. I'll stay away from it for now. Okay, power rankings for MLB. For the first time this year, we have a new number one, thanks to the Dodgers losing 2 of 3 in San Diego. And who is it? Drum roll, please. The Baltimore Orioles. That's right. It says, remember how excited everyone was when Baltimore won 101 games last year? The first time it had won so many since 1979 in the pre-Cal Ripken Jr. era. Well, even with their loss on Sunday, the Orioles are on pace for 108 wins, which would be their second most wins, one shy of the 1969 team. It seems sort of quaint that there was a time when we wondered if the O's would be able to outslug their supposedly wobbly pitching staff. Well, guess what? They've been doing it, and they've been absolutely killing it. They're third in the American League in runs scored on Monday. Ready for this, though? They're fifth in the majors in team ERA. All right, number 2. Like I mentioned earlier, the best record in all of baseball belongs to the Philadelphia Phillies. Says here you could totally be forgiven if you thought the Phillies after the week they just had might be the number one atop these rankings. They've won 9 of their past 11 games, 13 of 16. They have the best record in baseball. They didn't miss a beat when Trey Turner went on the IL. Ranger Suarez is basically Tom Glavine all of a sudden. It's a good case. When can we tell you where we can tell you that the voting was very close? Yeah, it had to be. Number 3, the Dodgers. It's been a little surprising considering he's coming off Tommy John surgery. After all, how much Shohei Ohtani has been playing for the Dodgers this year. Heading to Sunday, he was second on the team in plate appearances behind Mookie Betts. It's a fucking DH. I'm going to sound like it's taxing on him. You got to keep him rolling. Of course he's playing. He's sat only one game all season, so perhaps the back issues that popped up on Saturday, which led to a day off on Sunday, were a bit inevitable. As much fun as it is to watch him, maybe a few more scheduled days off would be in order. The Dodgers are already 5.5 games up in the division after all. Going into yesterday, I'm listening to the radio. I think it was yesterday, the day before. Like, Giants, whatever record. 9 back of the Dodgers in the NL West. It's like, fuck, man. Already? 9? Number 4, the Braves. Remember in 2021 when the Mets took a big lead in the National League East but could never quite shake the Braves no matter how well they were playing. And eventually the Braves caught them with a sweep in the penultimate series of the season. The Phillies are smoking everyone right now. And they still can't shake the Braves, despite Atlanta's not quite feeling like it's kicked into high gear. The major difference this year is that there's no late season series that will determine everything. The last game the Braves and Phillies play will be September 1st. Rounding out the top 5, The Yankees. Speaking of Eastern Division first place team, hearing the theme from Jaws in the background, the Yankees are giving no quarter to the Orioles. Even as they create more distance between themselves and the rest of the division, the Yankees are getting stronger, not weaker. Aaron Judge, 4 homers in his last 7 games. This all started when the ump made a dog shit call and then threw him out of the game. And then Judge shows up the next day. He goes Oppo Taco in his first at bat, winks at the third base umpire. At least I'm going to assume he did, who was the home plate umpire the day before that threw him out, and he's been in fucking fuego ever since. Garrett Cole, let's see here. Aaron Judge has 4 homers last 7 games, and Garrett Cole was with the Yankees for the Rays series this weekend as his rehab progresses. The Jaws theme, the last sentence, made it even louder. They get Cole back. That could be a game changer. I still like the O's. Brewers are at 6, Guardians at 7, Twins at 8. The Twins at 8, jeez. I mean, talk about turning your season around with that 12-game win streak. Cubs are at 9. And the Royals cracked the top 10. The world champion Rangers are at 11, Mariners at 12, Padres at 13. They ought to move up a few spots. Yeah, a couple. Red Sox are at 14. They stay the same. Tigers at 15. Rays are at 16. Diamondbacks at 17. Mets at 18. Nationals at 19. I mean, is that... Wow. Is that aggressive for the Nationals? Reds are at 20. 21 are the Bluebirds. 22, the Buccos. 23, the Gigantes. 24, the A's. How about the A's at 24? Astros are at 25. There's no way you could convince me the Astros are the 25th best team in baseball, though. Angels 26. Cardinals 27. Rockies 28. White Sox 29. Oh, we have a new bottom dweller. Bottom feeder. Miami Marlins. Good for them. So there are your power rankings just out. Okay. Here's some information. A really cool article that just came out. And look, say what you want about all of the StatCast and analytics and everything else. I like the information. I actually love the information. I find the information fascinating, not because I think it tells us who the best player is. That's just not even close, or who the best hitter is. Well, this is a brand new system that has been put into place. It's a bat tracking technology. And apparently it tells swing speed. So what's fascinating about this is that Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run the other night. He had a swing speed of 83.7 miles per hour and an exit velocity of 119.1. The average major league swing speed is 11 miles per hour slower. It's 72. I mean, think about that. That is absolutely crazy. Stanton goes 83.7. The average is 72. But this gets better because when you start looking at the leaders of swing speed, it's Giancarlo Stanton, it's O'Neal Cruz, it's Kyle Schwarber. You know who's in 4th? Ready for this? Matt Chapman. Crazy. Ronald Acuna's in 5th. Christopher Morel's in 6th. Aaron Judge is in 7th. Julio Rodriguez in 8th. Joe Adell 9. And then you go all the way down to 10 to get to Juan Soto. So that is our first real good hitter right there. It's Juan Soto at 10, right? Jordan Alvarez is at 11. Another really good hitter. But let's start there. Because Stanton, all due respect, he fucking mashes. But he's not a great hitter. O'Neal Cruz developing, Kyle Schwarber, you can say what you want about the power, which is next level, but it's just not a great hitter. Matt Chapman, Love him. Got some thump. Not a great hitter. At least we know he has the ability to be better now. So, and overall, when I say great, look, Matt Chapman's had a fantastic career. He has. A phenomenal career. But is he considered a great hitter? He's just not. He's a mid-700 OPS guy, which is good. Which is going to allow him to have a fantastic career and be known as one of the best defensive third basemen ever. It's going to keep him in the lineup. But not great. Ronald Acuna, yes, great. There's your first good hit. So Acuna's at 5. Judge, yeah. Julio Rodriguez, you got a lot of ups and downs. And then Juan Soto. Yordan Alvarez. Mike Trout's at 13. Jorge Soler is at 14. This is where it gets really, really fun, though. The slowest average bat speed in all of baseball belongs to Luis Ariz, who also just so happens to be arguably the best pure fucking hitter. So this is where you could take all of your numbers and you could shove them up your ass, because really what hitting is the ability to take the barrel of the bat and put it on the baseball. That's it. At what velocity, it doesn't matter. Bat to ball skills are still the most important skill a hitter can have. Barreling a ball up, barreling a ball up, barreling a ball up. That and swing playing. Getting on plane with the ball and being able, Luis Ariz, he gets on plane, and so he's literally in a position to put himself in a position to succeed from foul line to foul line. Left field, left center, center field, right center, right field. Giving himself a chance to succeed. Incredible swing. Obviously, not the fastest, as a matter of fact, it's the slowest. But he still absolutely rakes. A couple other guys with the average bat speed towards the very bottom. Stephen Kwan rakes. Justin Turner rakes. Let's see here. Charlie Blackmon. Bryce Terang. I mean, these are all at the bottom. This is crazy. Jeff McNeil. Tyler Nevin. These guys are all fucking really, really good hitters. So, just more information to look at. Look at 80 plus mile per hour bat speed. 321 batting average, 665 slugging, 419 weighted on base average. It says 70 to 79 mile per hour bat speed, 274 average. Okay, I get that. But hold on a second. You're telling me Giancarlo Stanton, if that's the case, shouldn't he be hitting 321 and slugging 665? 70 to 79 mile per hour bat speed, 274, 477, 322. Oh, and then 0 to 69 mile per hour bat speed. This isn't correlating. It just is not correlating. It's not making a ton of sense. Well, whatever. More data for us to look at, analyze, have some fun with. Here's another one. Lamont Wade Jr.'s fifth inning heroics in the Giants' thrilling 6-5 win over Cincy on Sunday came in an unlikely manner. Wade Jr. connected for a 321-foot, 2-run home run to tie